We know that our mindset impacts our ability to develop and grow, but does our high expectation of someone lead to improved performance, and our low expectation of someone lead to worsened performance? That's the question. That's where the Pygmalion effect comes in. Initially, it was observed in a classroom setting, but now has been applied to various different fields. The Pygmalion effect, also known as the Rosenthal effect, was first discovered by Robert Rosenthal and Lenore Jacobson in a Californian school in 1968. The Pygmalion effect works in a circular fashion. Others' expectation of us influences their behavior towards us, which in turn impacts how we see ourselves, and how we see ourselves impacts how we behave, which in turn reinforces their expectations. Initially, Robert Rosenthal conducted an experiment on a group of rats. Half of them he labeled as bright and half of them as dull, before he assigned them to his experimental psychology students at Harvard. In the experiment, the bright rats made it through the maze more quickly, but there was no difference between the rats. But what Rosenthal observed was the students handled the bright rats more often and more gently, which affected how the rats performed. Robert and Lenore also conducted another experiment in the classroom setting. They noticed that when a teacher had a high expectation of a student, the child performed better, whereas when the teacher had a low expectation of a student, it worsened their performance. These experiments show that when we look at the world through a certain lens, this impacts our behavior, and that behavior often affects the other person in a very significant way.